We still remain singular in that we are actually voicing, tuning the top and the airspace in the body like you would a violin. And that takes a lot of work. So I had Takamine come through. I show him all this stuff, and we go back into the office, and some were smokers, so they step outside to have a cigarette. I'm looking through the glass doors, and I can see them digging their toes, you know, in the driveway, and like their hands on their hips and scowling. And I go, what is that all about? So when they come back in, I said, what's the problem? You know, did you miss something? Did I do something wrong? And the boss says, no, you did everything right. The problem is, now we know how you make really good sounding guitars consistently, but it takes too much time. It costs too much money to do that. The inlay actually was a fortuitous misfortune. It's all little pinching motions, and if you do it as a steady diet, you're guaranteed repetitive stress problems and carpal tunnel. And in realizing that, another big breakthrough in thinking was, just because it's handmade doesn't make it better. Some places it does. We're still the most handmade company of anybody where it matters. But I realized, you know, I'm cutting out, I'll be cutting out thousands of, you know, our logo, SCGC for Santa Cruz Guitar Company, and it looks the same each time. And it doesn't matter that I cut it by hand. It doesn't add to the function, to the tonality, and it hurts. So the breakthrough was to realize that could be done by machine and be better off for everybody. So a lot of our models came from interaction with players, because we really started out selling direct to customers, and we really were a custom shop. And I'll use Tony Rice as an example. Tony Rice at the time was really, really well known as a bluegrass flat picker, not nearly the status he has now. He's iconic now. But he came to us with a request for a bluegrass dreadnought. He had this old, filthy Martin herringbone. You know this legend? Okay. And it was stinky, and he was afraid to take it on the road. And he wanted a new guitar that, you know, was more durable. And so we built him. You know, I thought, you know, oh, well, we know what we're doing. I'll show Tony Rice what a really good guitar is. So we built, you know, our style of guitar for him. And he went, nah. So there was the first revelation. Oh, maybe there isn't one guitar that's right for everybody. And then after we built him one successfully, people began calling up, of course, and saying, I saw Tony Rice with the Santa Cruz guitar. I'd like to get one just like it. And, you know, being a budding marketing genius, I'd tell people, well, no, we really don't make that. That was just a, you know, one-of-a-time custom guitar. So like somewhere around between the 6th and 60th time we got that phone call, I went, hey, you know what? Maybe I should swallow my pride and make a guitar that looks like an old Martin. And, you know, it's been our most popular model for years and years. That guitar was designed in about '78, and for a local luthier, Paul Hostetter. That's what the H stands for, by the way. And he came to us with an old Nick Lucas special and asked for a custom guitar. It was so far ahead of its time because, you know, any grown-up man or approaching grown-up, it was a dreadnought. You know, like a 12-fret guitar, that might be something that your maiden aunt left behind or a music teacher would play, but it certainly wasn't a young man's guitar. And we couldn't sell it for anything. It was beautiful. It looked like a guitar shape. It wasn't boxy like a dreadnought, but it was another about 25 years before it hit its niche. And it was 13 frets to the body. The concept was a smaller body, but deeper front to back. So one of the ways to manipulate balance is by increased airspace and volume. You know, so thus the dreadnought's a bassy, loud guitar. But you can achieve a similar effect by making a small guitar in footprint, but deep in airspace. So that was like revelatory. And the reason it took so long to catch on is first people had to get confident in their, you know, their playing ability, and also to people, you know, people my age that played Dreadnought for decades, decades and decades, find that they play for 20 minutes and their arm's getting numb. It's painful, it's not pleasant, but they're used to that big sound. And so 25 years later, aha, the H13, nice loud guitar, not boomy or woofy, but predominant in the bass, and ergonomic, So it's like, oh, great. It won Guitar Player's Reader's Poll Award for the, best guitar of 2006. And that's stunning. We never even advertised in the magazine.